Alright, so now we're on Overhill and Underhill, and this is surprisingly one of the easier levels in the All Quest route. This is kind of the, along with Trollhole, this level is really the in-between between having a lot of glitches and having a lot of glitches. And by that I mean like Unexpected Party and Roast Mutton both have like pretty game-breaking level skips, or pretty level-breaking skips that save a considerable amount of time. This level and Trollhole really don't have any, but almost every level after this is going to have a whole bunch of them. The very first thing we want to do in this level is head to the back of the stage and talk to this dwarf behind the courage points. If you're not sure whether you talk to the correct dwarf, you can always just check the right side of the screen to see if that little book appeared, because if it did, then you talked to the right troll, and if it didn't, then you... or dwarf. If it did appear, you've talked to the right dwarf. If it did not, you have not talked to the right dwarf. I'm going to go ahead and grab this scroll. That scroll is the sword scroll, which we are going to be fighting some enemies with the sword later on. Now for a second here, I'm going to be just progressing just like normal any percent. With the exception of, I am going to be collecting a few extra coins a bit later on, and I'll show those off when I get to them. And again, if you've been paying attention to my coin route, I should have about 110 coins at this point. But we're going to be heading into here. Just crossing this gap. I did not actually intend to grab those. If you want to grab them, that's fine, but you don't have to grab them. From this point on, we're going to be collecting a lot of extra coins. And I'll show those off as I get to them, but obviously you just run around there to skip a text box to save a little bit of time. I'm going to go ahead and save, just because I'm unwary of my own skill at this point. But, what we're going to do is, once we've knocked the pillar down, we're going to cross the pillar, we're going to break this pod underneath the rope, and we're going to climb up here, and we're going to grab this chest right here. And now we're just going to kind of progress onward. Those are the only coins that we're going to be collecting outside. We're just going to head back into the inside part of the cave now. Just like we would in any percent. Obviously not collecting any more coins. Not outside anyway. But now what we're going to do is we have to fix all three of the machines that we would normally have to fix in this category. And we are going to collect some coins right here. The best way I've found to do that is to just do a slash jump out here. And in the middle of the slash jump, you can kind of just press B to interact with that chest. If you try to do a long jump, most of the time you'll just pass right over it. You can also just walk out and press B on your way. But we're going to be grabbing this gear right here. We're going to be climbing up here, up to this ledge. Grabbing this gear here. Obviously, this part is fairly identical to any percent. We're going to be crossing these ropes. And grabbing this gear over here. We're going to be grabbing this gear now, and then doing the long jump over this gap. And we are going to grab this chest. Now, this chest loses like 1 second, I believe. Which is the most amount of time that any extra coins are actually going to cost us. So, as you can see, the coin route at this point is really pretty optimal. And that chest even saves more time than per se, the chest in Roast Mutton that we could have grabbed. But we're going to head back out here now. And the very last chest I'm going to be grabbing inside is this chest right here. Before I put all of these gears in. We're going to be heading out now. And I guess technically this part is still inside of a cave. But I do refer to this as outside still, because that's really what it is. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and save at this safe pedestal, just because, again, I'm unwary of my own skill. We do have to fix the other two machines, obviously, and there is a little skip that we're going to be doing on one of the machines that doesn't really save all that much time. And it's considerably harder than it looks, but obviously we're just going to jump down here just like we normally would. Saving again because I'm unconfident. But the easiest way that I found to collect these gears is we're going to head up here. Grab this gear first and take a sharp right. From here we can do a sort of angled jump to clip into this wall so that when we pop up it actually pops us all the way up. Otherwise we would have to do an extra jump to get up here. But if we do that little clip and pop all the way up, we can just do one jump to get on top of this brick and grab that gear. Grab this chest on your way down, on your way to turning the camera, so you can do a long jump and jump attack over here. Grab that chest while you grab that gear. Grab this gear over here and do a long jump up here. Grab that gear before we do one final long jump over here into that cutscene. Now, there is one extra chest here that has 10 coins. I'm not going to be collecting it because I already have enough coins in this route. That chest really doesn't lose any time if you do want to grab it, especially if you've missed 10 coins somewhere previously. That's why, like, for example, in Troll Hole, I'm not too worried about missing a couple coins, but that chest does have exactly 10 coins in it. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to head into this area. We're going to grab this little gear, and we're going to immediately head back. And I'm going to make a save here. Because this next trick is considerably harder than it looks. It requires a fairly precise angle. But anyway, once you've grabbed this gear, we would just head back this way, come around here, and grab this gear right here. Now what we're going to be doing is, instead of heading over that way, all the way over to that gear, we're actually going to be jumping up and grabbing this ledge right here. Jumping up here and grabbing this gear, and we're going to be traversing backwards for just a second, jumping over this gap right here. We can hit the switch from up here so that we don't have to drop down, and then we grab that switch, or that gear in that chest. From here we grab this last gear, and the very last thing we're going to do is just do a jump up here to this ledge. That jump is way more difficult than it looks because it does require a fairly precise angle to actually pull off. Fairly precise angle, and if you go at it with a slash jump, fairly precise timing as well. But once we're up there, we can just put all the gears in here. Now, we can skip going through this little tunnel by just doing a long jump over here. Usually a long jump and jump attack, but I just do a long jump sometimes. We're going to grab this key, head in here, and I am going to be grabbing my very last coins in here. They're just going to be these 3 bags over on the side, which gives me 285 coins exiting this stage, which is exactly where I want to be. Now we're going to be coming up to the biggest skip in the level, which saves about 30 to 40 seconds, depending on how good you are at fighting. Basically, as you know from running any percent or seeing any percent runs, if you have, there's a big goblin fight that's normally supposed to happen at the end of this stage. We're not going to be doing that because it loses time. Instead, I'm just going to be boosting up this wall and talking to Thorin at the top. It's basically just a slope boost where at the top of the slope boost you do an interaction by pressing B again. Obviously, I'm not the best at it because I suck at this game, but once you've done that, the very last thing you want to make sure you do is go over and talk to this dwarf right here. And just in case you're unsure of yourself with quests, you can always press start and press R twice. As you can see, I'm at 20 quests, and you can really do that at the end of any stage. For most stages, your count won't be exactly on because there will be like one more quest that you have to do at the very end of the stage. But, yeah, once you've talked to him, you can kind of just head to the end of the level by going down into this tunnel. Just like that. And this is where I'm going to start buying things, because, there's a chest that we need to open in Riddles in the Dark, plus a chest that we need to open in Flies and Spiders. If you're good at math, or if you're half decent at math, you probably know that 1 + 1 is 2. However, we are going to be buying 3 keys. Now, I'll explain the reason for that in Flies and Spiders, which will probably be in, like, 2 videos. But I go ahead and I buy 3 keys just at the end of Overhill. And now I'm going to exit the stage. And obviously we'll continue this in the next part of the guide.